News Talk 1280 KIT, the morning news on a beautiful Tuesday morning. The 18th day of July. We've got sunshine and warm temperatures for us today. It's just another one of those great July days where you gather around the radio and early morning, you got your bowl of cereal, you got your cup of coffee, and you start talking local politics.
That's right. Yeah, 61 degrees right now. We're going all the way to 94 degrees today and tomorrow, and then back down into 85 on Thursday. We continue our candidate interviews in District 2. We just had Jason White, and now in the house this morning is Pablo Gonzalez. Good morning, Pablo.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thanks for coming in here. Yeah. Well, hey, tell us District 2. Tell us who you are and you know, why you decided to run for the Yakima City Council.
So my name is Pablo Gonzalez. I'm pretty familiar with people here in Yakima, and the reason I decided to run was because you know, the spike in crime. I believe that I have the best solution to combat crime, to work with the police department, and to be able to reduce crime at a good rate. You know, you can't do away with all of the crime, but you can certainly fight and use analytics and analyze how we can do better for the city as public servants.
Well, unfortunately, I don't disagree with that at all. One of the problems that the police department, I think, has right now is that we lost our analytics guy, and I don't think did they wind up pulling the funding for that position. I know that he went off to another gig, but for a period of time, I think you're spot on, Pablo, in that analytics was helping our police department focus in and be able to put manpower where it needed to be most. So if you get elected and you get to revisit this idea, I think we've already seen that it's had some success, so good on you for that.
Most certainly, thank you.
There is, crime is one of the main issues, and I think it's, you know, sad but true to say, unfortunately, on our east side more than not. What other things can be done, do you think, to, everybody always tries to look for the cause of that, you know, and it's so complex and so multi-layered and goes back a bunch of years for everybody in their individual cases, but just in general, as a council person who cares about their district and their part of town, what can be done to help the east side be able to take a deep breath and feel as comfortable as maybe people in other districts do?
You know, I believe it starts with the basics. I think that if we give people the tools necessary to feel safe, it can definitely increase their awareness and visibility. I think that you know, analytics will show that no particular solution will solve every single problem. So we have to really hit it from a lot of different angles. You know, more community policing. You know, I know that our budget is strained for the police department, so encouraging police officers to get off their vehicles and walk the beat for an hour. Encourage their healthiness, of course, and also be able to get them
double dip right there, right?
It reduces their healthcare costs long term.
That's right.
And you know, I think that a lot of the people that I've been talking to when I've been knocking on doors have told me that you know, as long as they have good neighbors, they really feel safe. So I think increasing the awareness of you know, being a good neighbor, also being able to give people the resource necessary to report a crime. You know, for example, giving them a sign, a street sign with a phone number saying, hey, you know, any suspicious activity or anything, please report. And working with the police department, make sure that their response time is on time, because, you know, for me, it's important that for me, I mean, if elected, the voter would be technically my customer, so making sure that they're taken care of and make sure that they're happy would be my top priority. So response times are definitely something that I want to work with the police department, and you know, figure out what we can do as a city council to help them become more efficient. You know, propose ideas and try to get them to help implement those ideas.
Do you support things like Coffee with a Cop and those barbecues with a cop and all those kind of events?
Yeah, of course. I think that when police officers are out talking to people, they're able to go straight to the source and receive direct information. You know, especially for example, if a police officer would go and walk the park, you know, during his break, or during you know, a time when there's a lot of kids at the park. Kids are full of information, you know, so just walking around and talking to people, kids will tell you more than you need to know, you know, and they probably won't stop talking. Yeah,
that's right.
Especially when they're talking to a cop. So you know, I think that encouraging police officers to get a little bit to the root, helping us get to the root of the problem, but also working hard at trying to analyze different situations, work on with the police department to de-escalate situations, so we don't have to go and settle lawsuits of wrongful death, and just trying to make sure that we're setting a good path for the police department, and that they're willing to work with the city of Yakima, City Council.
I guess I shouldn't assume, but I mean, do you believe that that's one of the biggest challenges, or the biggest challenge for Yakima crime here in Yakima?
That is one of the biggest challenges. I mean, right now with the past 2 years, crime has spiked. I believe the gang initiative funding had ended, and my brother works for law enforcement, and he has a lot of friends and people that were in the gang unit, and I've spoken to people that were in the gang unit, and they've said, hey, well, the reason that these violent crimes are spiking again is because a lot of the people that we put in jail are now coming out, because there were a lot of them were minors, and now nobody that has had prior history with these criminals doesn't know how to take care of it, or necessarily catch that criminal again. So it's very like Dave said, you can't really find particular. It has a lot of analytics, and you have to really analyze this, and that's where I come from. That I'm a really good analyzer from what I think, but I believe that if we just all work together, we can analyze and figure out really good solutions.